Being an active reader is vital, both in terms of comprehension and retention. There are two approaches to being an active reader that I have written up here on the board. Both are fine, it's just a matter of preference as to which one you choose. So I want to take a brief look at those two ways to be an active reader. In the first approach, you start off by surveying. This means you briefly skim the chapter you're about to read and get an idea of what it is going to be about. Then question. Ask yourself, what do I think this chapter is going to be about? What do I think the author's main points are going to be? Then, of course, you actually read the chapter. Make sure you are comprehending what you are reading. If you have any questions about concepts or vocabulary words that are in the chapter you are reading, be sure to write those down and research and find the answers once you get finished. Now, this may sound silly, but continue to review what you have read. About twice a week, you need to go back and skim the chapters again and look at the main points. Also, recite what you read. Now, again, this may sound silly, but make sure that you are actually saying these concepts out loud, because oftentimes we just employ the use of sight in trying to remember concepts. But when you actually say something, you are employing the use of sight, speech, and hearing, all to be able to understand that concept so that you can retain it longer. The second approach is when you create a question and answer sheet for yourself. As you're reading, you formulate questions that you think might be on the test, and then you write down the answers to those questions. So as you're reading, look for bold words, and then write down the definitions and examples. Also, look at chapter and section headings, and draw questions from that, and then write down the answers so that you can review yourself. Always be looking for cause and effect. Anytime you see a cause and effect, write down the question so that it's in a cause, and then write down the answer as the effect. In other words, you're saying, when this happens, what happens as a result of it? And so be continually looking at that question and answer sheet to prepare yourself for the test. So that's a brief look at the two ways to be an active reader.